Sherry, you took the summer off and you're still not marketing. How did that affect your TPT income? If you'd like to know the answer to that, then stick around. Hello everyone, my name is Sherry from Rolling Acres Education. Welcome to my channel, or welcome back if this is not your first time. And yes, I basically took the summer off. I'm not going to say I didn't work on my business at all, but I worked on it very little because I had to haul my computer around, I had to set it up. I was with family, I had a lot going on. And so I also started working on KDP workbooks. I put a lot of time into that. So I did not put a lot of time into my store this summer. And I definitely did not increase my marketing. As a matter of fact, if anything, I decreased it. I didn't do any emails. I didn't do any YouTube videos. So let's see how that affected my income. First of all, if you didn't watch my Hey, I'm Back video, I'll link it below. But this is not my permanent filming place. But I didn't want to wait around. And then when I started unpacking and ready, I realized that I didn't have my mic cord. So I'm going to do about 4 videos, and then I'm going to spend some time getting a place set up, finding all my equipment, and doing all that. So just bear with me. I realized that I have not done the last income report I gave was back from almost a year ago. It was October through December of 2023. So I am going to try my hardest to just bully through and just get incomes from January through September. Just get that done. Try not to give any insights or anything like that. There is one important thing that I do want to point out starting around July, August of this current year. Something I feels going on, and I'll talk about it when I get there. But other than that, I'm going to try to just say, here's my income, and this is how it is, okay? I'm going to start back January of 2024. And I also want to say that I was all into the store rankings, trying to figure out, how many people are in that top, excuse me, trying to kind of figure out how many people are in that top 1% and all that, and I got totally sidetracked. And so this is October 27th, and this morning was the first time I checked my ranking from September. I just totally forgot about it. So I'm not going to share a lot about that in this video, but I do want to respond to some videos and some things I've heard about the rankings and how they think they're kind of like discouraging, which I totally disagree. So I'll talk more about that in another video. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to try to just give my income without a lot of side information. And then I'm going to do a second video where I'm going to give some insights into how I feel about those rankings and my income and just some things that are going on. Okay, so here we go. First of all, I want to say I'm not going to give how many things are in my store because I'm not creating a whole lot of new things. I think I've got around 250 products in my store right now, and it's maybe 260, somewhere around there. I should have checked. I'll link it. I'll put it somewhere here when I'm editing the video. But it's pretty much what it's been for the last 6 months. I haven't added a lot of new products in the last 6 months, so that's not really a big deal. So I'm not going to give the number of products I have in my store. I'm going to give views, which I have something to say about that, units sold, conversion rates, and total income. And then compare those to last year. Okay. All right, so let's start with January. I'm going to be reading this, so forgive me for looking down, but I'm no way I'm trying to remember all this. Okay, so in January of 2024, I had 5,293 views compared to last year was 1,941 views, which is up 173%. I sold 742 units, and that was compared to 225 the year before, which was a 230% increase, which I will say this, I love that they have that on there now, that you don't have to figure that out yourself. It tells you right there how much you're up or down from last year, which I think is awesome. And I had a 13% conversion rate compared to 11% last year. I do want to say, if you are a math whiz, and I'm pretty good at math, and I love math, and I taught math, if you had 13% this year and 11% last year, isn't that a 2% increase? But they've got that's an 18% increase. And then next month I had 13 and 13, and they said that was a -2, but it was the same. So I don't understand. If anybody will explain that, please go ahead, because it doesn't make sense to me. You'd think the conversion rate was just what the difference between the conversion rates would be, your increase or decrease, but apparently not. So anyway, so I did have went from 11% to 13%, which to me is a 2% increase. Okay. And for January, I had a total income of $2,307.70, which was up 221% from last year, which was $718.05. Moving on to February, try to go a little faster. I had 5,281 views, up 161% from last year, which was 2,021 views. I sold 719 products as compared to 272 last year, which was a 164% increase. And my conversion rate stayed the same, 13 and 13, which for some reason was a 2% drop. Go figure. And my income was $2,753.37, up from $838, which was an increase of 228%. On to March. In March, I had 4,719 views, up from 2,178 views, which was a 117% increase. I sold 557 products, up from 348 the year before, which was a 60% increase, and my conversion rate went down. It was 11% as compared to 16% the year before. I thought that March was going to be one of my big months, but the last 2 years have not shown that to be true. It actually looks like it's going to be one of my lower months. Okay, moving on to April. In April, I had 5,378 views compared to 2,039, and I didn't write down the percentages for that, but that's a little more than double. I sold 588 products compared to 331 the year before. Again, not quite double. My conversion rate was way down to 10% from 16% the year before, but I made $2,431.04 compared to $1,095.01 the year before, for a 122% increase. Now, I thought that January and February were going to be low months for me, and March and April were going to be high compared to because of my first couple years. But the last 2 years have shown that January and February are actually going to be better. So I don't know. We'll just have to see how that goes. All right. So moving on. So that takes us to May. A lot of people start to see a huge decrease in May. I don't, because of the type of products that I sell. And if you've been with TPT long, you know that depending on what your niche is, determines what your good months are. Because for me, I have a lot of no-brainer type resources that the teachers can just print up and pass out, and those are very popular at the end of the year. So May is usually a pretty good month for me. So in May, I had 5,198 views compared to 3,068 the year before, which was a 69% increase. Sold 745 products compared to 653 the year before, which was a 14% increase. And my conversion rate went down again to 14% from 21. And I made $2,718.43 compared to last year was $2,015.58, which was a 35% increase. So May was better than year before, but not like huge like some of the other months. Not about $700 increase. Brings us to the glorious June and July, which I used to worry about that. Last couple of years I've been like, okay, what can I do to make more money in June and July? And now I'm not going to worry about that anymore. That's why I'm starting KDP workbooks. I'm going to focus on those, trying to get to where I can make money off of those in the summer, and I don't have to worry about trying to be real creative and think of some way to make money in June and July when teachers are not interested in buying stuff. Some people make a lot of money, especially I think if you sell like decor and planning and stuff like that, you probably could make a lot of money in June and July. I don't know. But anyway, let's just go on. So in June, I had 1,326 views compared to 1,035 the year before, which was a 28% increase. I sold 125 products as compared to 68, which was an 84% increase. And I made $485.74 compared to $228.96 the year before, which was a 112% increase. So June I was okay with. You know, I made almost $500. Anything I make in June and July, I'm just going to consider yay. You know, great. My conversion rate did go up just a little, from 9% to 7%. But here's where I think some things started happening. I'm going to talk about that when I talk about my August income. Okay. Then July was my first year that I just went on everything. I went down on all in all categories except conversion, and it was basically the same. I had 941 views. The year before I'd had 1,466, which was a decrease of 36%. I sold 61 units compared to 85, which was a negative 28%, or 28% decrease. And my conversion rate went from 5% to 6%, which basically is the same. It's the only thing that went up. And then I made $289.24 compared to $365.99 the year before, which was a 21% decrease. Okay, so August. Before we get into August, I'm not exactly sure when this happened, but at some point, I think TPT's views became distorted. I don't trust them right now. I've heard other people say they don't trust them. Like, people are talking about, wow, my conversion rates are through the roof. What's happened? And then they say, well, what about your views? Yeah, my views have gone down. So I think right now the views are low. And if the views are low, they're going to make your conversion rates look higher than they really are. I mean, I've had a couple of days where my conversion rates have been close to 50%. And I just don't believe that half the people that are looking at my products are buying them. It'd be nice if they were. But I think, and I've heard other people say that, I think that the views are messed up right now. So I don't trust them, which means you can't really trust your conversion rates. But I'm going to go ahead and give them anyway, just because I have them, so I'm going to give them. But I'm going to tell you to take them with a grain of salt. Okay. With that said, August, I had 5,085 views compared to 5,717 last year, which was down 11%, maybe. I sold 970 units compared to 687 the year before, which was a 41% increase. My conversion rate went from 12% to 18%. I don't know. And my sales were $4,218.35 compared to $3,005.24, which was a 40% increase. And that's been my highest month so far. That was my highest month so far. So I am ecstatic. I was so happy. That's the second time I've made over 4,000, but last time it was like just barely over 4,000. So I'm really excited about that. I worked in low income schools, and so that is and I'm talking about gross pay. My gross pay for teaching was around $4,000 a month. So I feel good about that, but let's move on. Okay, then came September, and in September I had maybe 5,254 views compared to 5,189 the year before, which is a 1% increase. I sold 1,185 products compared to 758 the year before, and that brought my conversion rate up to 22% as compared to 14% last year. I don't know. Okay, I mean, I had just about the same amount of views and sold like 400 more products. I think the views are messed up, but that's my opinion. Okay, and I made $4,831.16 as compared to $2,991.63 last year, which was a 61% increase. Now, I do want to say this. If you're new to TPT, you may not realize this. You probably do. But when they compare your month to month, it's not like the first day of the month to the last day of the month. They compare it on days. So like the first Monday in September is compared to your first Monday in September of the next year. So it's like the same days. They want to compare Saturday to Saturday. And I get why they do that. For me, sometimes I like it better the other way because I sell seasonal resources, and so mine is more based on where the holidays fall. So, I mean, it really doesn't matter, but I just want to say that because if you watched my income video last year, technically in September I did make $3,000 for the month of September, but compared the way they do it, it's $2,900 for the same amount of time. Anyway, hope that didn't just confuse you more, but I did increase is the main thing. So anyway, I'm very excited right now. October is looking very good. Today is October 27th. My best days in October are the 30th and 31st. So I'm real excited about this year. So we'll see how that goes. So am I going to continue giving income videos? I go back and forth with this. The reason I want to continue is because I want you to know that you do not have to market. And don't ever take that as me saying, oh, marketing's not working. I just wonder, hey, well, if I could really market and get some more views, what kind of income would I have? But I just don't have the time and the motivation to do that right now. I'd rather take that time and start developing KDP workbooks and make more money that way and get to the point where I could maybe hire someone to do my marketing for my TPT store. Just go in there and say, here's the TPT store, would you market it? From what I can understand, KDP workbooks, the advertising on Amazon for them is so much easier, way easier than like Facebook ads. So we'll just see how that goes. But anyway, I just want you to know that I think you should market, but you don't not have a store because you don't want to market. You can still make money. And I want to help you do that. I have a little course that's going to be coming out soon, very small course. It's going to be way under $50, and it's just going to be ways that you can increase your views without marketing. So anyway, I hope that this was encouraging to you and not discouraging, because maybe you've been in it a while and you've not made the same amount of money. I'm telling you, niche has so much to do with it. High school and middle school is not as competitive. And here's the nice thing, I am starting to see my lower levels start to pick up. It's interesting, some of my biggest sellers are not selling now, and some of the stuff that wasn't selling is now selling, and 3 through 5 is starting to pick up. And I think it's because I believe your overall store conversion is figured in the algorithm. So these products that haven't been getting a lot of views, if they have good conversion rates, they're moving up. So anyway, I just want you to know that you've got this, God's got you, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.